in our facilities. A number of issues which contributes to this problem of overcrowding includes inmates who have been given bail but are unable to pay. We've seen this with the Colesbeck Correctional Facility, where we had a number of inmates who would have received bail of less than 500 rands or bail of less than 1,000 rands, but still could not be able to manage to pay that bail. Vis-a-vis what the department is paying for each inmate being in our facility, it's something that requires us to ponder on. Remand detainees who have been detained without the option of bail as well. We have an influx of those, of inmates who would have been taken to correctional facilities, but they are yet to receive bail. And this would be yes, some of them. Court disapproval on the Section 63A application due to the nature of the crime committed or would be previous criminal records and the involvement in gangs or criminal syndicates in crimes. States patients who should be in mental institutions but are instead incarcerated in correctional centers. This is a matter that we've been in engagement with the Department of Health, including the Portfolio Committee of Health. So it's a matter that as the Portfolio Committee, we are going to prioritize to make sure that there is bilaterals between the two departments, including the two portfolio committees, to try and find mitigation of mental health patients being in correctional facilities instead of hospitals. The huge number of foreign nationals in our facilities, this is a dire concern that the department is facing in centers. In other correctional centers, the department uses offender labor for some of the day-to-day maintenance and renovation of their facilities. For instance, in Kgoshi Mampuru, the department used offender labor to renovate, tile, and paint the office of the commissioner, including his house. For non-national offenders, at the end of March 2024, the department incarcerated 22,612 foreign national inmates, 690 of whom are serving life sentences. The department spends just under 500 per day per offender in all correctional facilities. And this stats as well, it's yet to be updated. It's a 2024 one, which we have received as the Portfolio Committee last year. We're yet to receive a new updated stats, so the numbers could be more. Those who were part of the oversight would have known, and those would have heard on radio stations, that we did a number of correctional facilities in Gauteng, Bavian Sport, Johannesburg Correctional Facility, which is formerly known as Sun City, Modape Correctional Facility. And amongst others, when we went to Bavian Sport, we had about, I think it's a juvenile center, yes, where around 525 male offenders who are incarcerated in that facility. Out of the 525, 400 are foreign nationals. So only 125 were South Africans, male offenders. It's a youth correctional facility. The committee also found 2,912 foreign national inmates in Modape Correctional Facility. While we were in Kgoshi Mampuru Correctional Facility, there were 2,394 foreign nationals. And in Johannesburg Correctional Facility, which is formerly known as Sun City, we have found 4,709 foreign national inmates. This was an oversight that we did last year in October, so the numbers could increase or decrease as of now. On issues of contraband flooding into correctional centers is a serious concern, particularly as the number of investigations and the number of officials disciplined does not correlate to one another. With the amount of contrabands found in each management areas or in facilities, for instance, in the Johannesburg management area, 1,393 cell phones were confiscated between July and September 2024, but only 48 formal disciplinary process or cases have been registered, 84 investigations conducted, and 25 suspensions being implemented. In Khosi Mampuru, 1,700 cell phones were confiscated as well. And they were found between April and September 2024. While in Lokop, 63 cell phones were found between May and July. Like I indicated, these are stats of last year, and these are stats that we found when we did our oversight visit in Gauteng last year in October. So the numbers based on the rates that the portfolio committee would have encouraged the department to continue with, so the numbers could add more in confiscated contrabands, or it might be less if there were stringent measures that have been put by the department to mitigate smuggling of contrabands. But we're yet to get an updated plan on the department on how they're going to mitigate smuggling of contrabands when we meet or pursue our program as the portfolio committee. When we did an oversight visit to Goodwood, which is here, we found out that the department tried to mitigate in bringing 2 beds. They would then, I don't know how to explain this, but 2 beds will be turned into 3. So meaning in between, there will be, which is not correctly supposed to be done, but they will try to tie the 2 beds together so that then in that middle space, there is a mattress that gets to be put, someone else sleeps there. One of the issues that we found as well in Bavian Sport, which is the youth center or the male center that I've made an indication of, that was 525 inmates, population 400 being foreigners. We also found a situation where there were sponges were given to inmates. So if it's a cell that accommodates 2 people or 4 people, you'll find that, there's backbenchers, there's a down and the up one. So you'll find someone having their own sponge and mattress. That's how they're trying to mitigate. But we have requested as well as part of the first program of the portfolio committee, we have requested the department to come and brief the portfolio committee on how to mitigate the shortages of bed space vis-a-vis the total number, so that whatever inmates that are incarcerated in facilities, it must be done in the human rights condition, so that none of those are violated. Yes, they're inmates, but their human rights conditions must be upheld, and they don't find themselves in situation or in dire situations that are not conducive, even me and you can't comprehend and live in. On issues of food, we had a case of Westville Correctional Facility, and I think it was sometime in December, where inmates would have made an indication to media houses that they're not receiving their 3 meals as supposed to, and some would have written letters of complaints to myself as the portfolio committee chair. I've referred the matter to the National Commissioner to attend to it. He did give a brief report after attending, but outside that, we have also requested Honorable Muali, who stays in KZN, because if it was during recess, if he's able to attend to the matter in Westville, and Honorable Muali was able to attend to the matter, and he did confirm that inmates were not receiving 3 meals as per they should, and based on that, he made a recommendation to the portfolio committee that we must then hold the department accountable and make sure that inmates do receive 3 meals as required by law. So part of the visit in KZN, the Westville Correctional Facility, will be amongst those that we go look into and find out why were inmates not receiving their meals as required.